Blog Talk Radio.
What time is it?
WHRADIO.
We are the best in the world at what we do.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of WrestlingHeads Radio. You got Skits. I'm here alongside with Oscar and fucking Tom. What a fucking show we're about to have. A lot of shit to talk about. We got what? WWE Money in the Bank to talk about. Fucking New Japan Pro Wrestling. We got Ring of Honor pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view to talk about. PWG Bola. And Bola's not even near Bola yet. We're going to get to that a little later, too.
Well, I got to say, in August, get ready to fly.
Yeah, man.
Got a little bit of an echo going with you, so.
Yeah, I definitely heard that echo, too. I was like, whoa.
And
But
anyway,
yeah,
so we got a lot to talk about. Let's just start off with some WWE because Raw just went off the air.
Yeah, definitely. Actually started off with Stephanie McMahon coming down the ring. Basically, last week, for all that didn't watch Raw last week, Stephanie McMahon basically threw up on Vicky Guerrero because Vicky got the coffee, and I guess Roman Reigns, put a little something in there, and she wanted to basically address that. So basically, she told her, either you get fired or you wrestle someone, and that person was Stephanie McMahon, which I actually want to see Stephanie go at it, which I was kind of hyped for, but didn't happen. Yeah, you guys want to talk about that one?
well, it's a little weird that they freaking mentioned Eddie Guerrero. And later on when they wrestled, she actually came out to the Eddie Guerrero music. So I saw Twitter blowing up about the whole Eddie Guerrero music. So, yeah, it was pretty cool for once to live the memory of Eddie Guerrero. I mean, it's been a while since they brought him up. So, yeah, and in a good way how to, I know Vicky's leaving, but it's a good way how to end it, just to make everybody remember she was the wife of Eddie Guerrero, not just the whole, excuse me, or being Edge's wife, or being the girlfriend of that one guy who didn't last in WWE. Was his name Eric Escobar? So, yeah, I guess they put a good way to, end her WWE career.
I don't think she's, in my opinion, I don't think she's done with WWE. I think she's done for a while, because she's been on the road. She did an interview last year with Sam Roberts, and she does the full WWE schedule. She doesn't just do, Raw and SmackDown. She does the full schedule and house shows. So, she's, a single mom trying to raise kids, while being on the WWE schedule. So it's good that she's going to have time off to, spend with her kids. But I think, in a couple of years' time, we're going to be watching Raw or whatever, and then all of a sudden we're going to hear, excuse me, and everyone's just going to pop like crazy. Because, in this day and age, we tend to cheer for the heels if they're cool enough or if they do something good. Vicky has been like the only consistent heel for I don't even know how many years. I'd say for, 7 years, 7 years?
Yeah, since she first started her character.
Yeah, constantly getting heat. Everybody hated her, but that's what made her good at her job, is constantly getting heat. She was annoying, but she was damn good at it, and, I think she had a great WWE run, Everyone's going to remember her run with Edge. People are going to remember her as the GM of, Raw and SmackDown, and, she's had a good run. It's unfortunate what happened to Eddie, but, she's living on the legacy, and there's actually, I think, there was a Guerrero in developmental. I don't know if her daughter's still in there.
Yeah, Raquel,
right?
Yeah, but she got released.
Yeah, she might be back. You know, she's still
She was
really
actually
young,
good, too.
So you never know. She could be back. So, but it was good to see Vicky, you know, because she's always been, you know, kind of being walked on by the authorities. So she had some fire in her, and it was great to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if she's going to be missed with other wrestling heads out there, but she won't be missed with me. But it was kind of sad seeing her leave a little bit. But a lot of shit was popping off on Raw. Like your boy, I want to kind of skip, you know, some things here. Your boy, Mr. Bo Dallas. We might as well get this guy over with, you know.
He's
your
9
boy.
and Bo. He is 9 and Bo.
Anyways, like your boy Bo Dallas, basically came down the ring and just jobbed fucking Titus O'Neil, like, and he's really going on with this fucking this new streak bullshit. Him, JBL is.
I mean, it was just hilarious. Him with Titus O'Neil tonight. He was just like, "Hey, buddy, it's gonna be okay." And then Titus, you know, smacked the microphone after Bo Dallas got the win with the Bo Dog, and he was like, "Huh, it must have slipped out of my hands." Ah, silly me. It was just Bo Dallas, you know, is hilarious, and you know, even though his gimmick's not the same as it was in NXT, it's still, you know, showing his character. It's still fun to see. It's something new. So, you know, the Bo streak continues.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little confused right now. Since SmackDown, he's been going against heels now. Is he like a tweener? Is he? They're planning to turn him babyface now, or what?
He's a heel.
He's a heel. I think it was just they didn't have anybody to face him tonight because, you know, every other face is involved with Money in the Bank. So I guess they figured just put him with Titus O'Neil. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think a Bo Lever is calling right now. Well, we know he is. And that Bo Lever is Bruce. What's going on, Bruce?
What's going on, guys? Figured I had to call in because there's tons of stuff to go over.
Hell
yeah, man. Fucking, you know, that would be kind of good for fucking Bo Dallas if he goes over fucking Big Show. Because that would be like he'll go with his character, Bo leave, you know. All you got to do is Bo leave.
Yeah, but the thing is, right now, Big Show's, he's out right now. I think he's filming a movie, so.
But, I don't know. We'll see what's going on with Bo Dallas. Hopefully he gets an actual feud soon, because him jobbing on these guys is going to start getting boring soon.
Yeah.
Also on Raw, in the beginning of Raw, basically, I'm pretty sure all of us have a comment on this. Harper and Eric Rowan, new fucking theme music? What the fuck?
I don't like it either. It's when I heard it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Is a new tag team coming? You know what? At first I thought it was that new tag team that debuted on NXT. Aiden English and the other guy. I actually thought it was them. I was like, what the fuck? But they
Aiden English and Simon Gotch, the vaudevillains, which
the vaudevillains. I thought it was them, but then ended up being Wyatt family with this new. It's got the whole world music and that instrument version of it. So,
oh my god! This was terrible. That theme music was awful. It was just plain terrible.
Garbage.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know whose fucking idea it was to have them come out to that, but it made them look kind of, like, what the fuck? Who are these guys? Like, but then, you know, once the light hit them, you're like, oh, it's Rowan and fucking Harper. You know, but hopefully the WWE is smart to change that shit before Money in the Bank, because it won't look good with them coming out with that garbage. That's just me, but anyways, Luke Harper he basically went against Jimmy Uso. Basically went over on that match, and after Jay called out Eric Rowan, and I believe he got the win on that one. And of course, the Wyatt family destroyed the Usos to make the Wyatts look strong going into Money in the Bank, which I thought was a smart move.
Of course.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I maybe it's a little early for predictions, but you know what? I think it's a little early to talk about predictions, but yeah, let's just move on.
I never asked for predictions, but it made them look strong.
Yeah, I know.
Your thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, it was good to, make Harper and Rowan look strong. In my honest opinion, the tag team division hasn't been really that much. I personally find the Usos boring as hell. They don't have a lot of personality. They don't have a lot going for them. A lot of their matches are just becoming the same. If they don't take the tag titles off of the Usos at Money in the Bank, they better do them sometime soon because, they need to freshen up that tag division. It's sad when NXT had no tag division, and now that they do have a tag division, it's already better than the main roster's tag division.
But let me ask you a question, Tom. If the Usos do beat the Wyatts this weekend, then who could go against the Usos? And who you like to see them go against the Usos? Because there's really nothing out there left. You could, right back?
Yeah.
The Wyatts are going to still have to go after them.
You could do Goldust and Stardust.
You don't have to necessarily base it on teams that are just tag teams. Remember when WWE has a really shallow tag team division? They just slap together two superstars.
I would rather see them, because they're building up Goldust and Stardust. And I
mentioned that earlier.
I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know if they're going to have Cody just, start turning into a maniac. I don't know what they're going to do, but like I said, that tag division, it's weird to think that this time last year they were trying to get that tag division back in order, and now a year later it's back to shit.
It's funny that you mentioned that because earlier me, Chris, and Oscar had a conversation about the tag team division, and I was like, what about Stardust and fucking Goldust? Not saying that they're good to be tag team champs or anything, but people forget Ryback and Curtis Axel are another tag team in the division. You could throw them in a fucking match. They are heels. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, my problem is this, though. If the Wyatts do win the tag belts, then they don't have much option who to go against. The Usos kind of do, because if they beat the Wyatts, either they can continue on feuding with the Wyatts, or they can bring up. Sad to say this, but you guys, they could bring up the Ascension, because it looks like that's what they're planning to do. Because they did some house shows recently, and they even teased they're going to the main roster this past weekend. So if that's the case, they could debut like next week on Raw and attack the Usos and show them that they're their next contenders. So the Usos really got more options.
I think it's the opposite. Because the Wyatts, if you put Rowan and Harper on as having tag champions, not only can they take on every single tag team that WWE currently has, but then they can also take on every single makeshift tag team that management will put two superstars together. I don't see the Usos having that type of, whether it be physical power or recognition, to see them take on, for example, John Cena and Daniel Bryan. I don't see that. But I do see the, Harper and Wyatt, or Harper and Rowan. I do see them taking on, the makeshift superstar, super tag team, like, for example, Rated R Superstar. Not really a tag team, but WWE happened to put them together, and they just gelled well. I could see, Rowan and Harper doing a lot better with both types of tag teams. The ones that are actual tag teams and the ones with two superstars.
You see, that's I was talking to Skits about. That's what I was telling them in our Vox earlier, that if you're going to make Eric Rowan and Luke Harper tag team champs, you're going to have to put two superstars combined to go against them, because you could put them against the Usos, then what else you got? You know? The Usos at least got either the Ascension, continue with the Wyatts, or they could put another feud by Baxel.
They can always do what they did before, three-way fucking tag fucking feuds. You know how they had the Shield and Cody Rhodes and Goldust against the Usos. They can always do that too. They can
yeah, but
keep
I
doing
don't know.
that.
But to me, I don't think WWE just want to do it. But to me, I want to like see it resurrect in a way. You got to give storylines to this thing, and if you're gonna keep putting
it's a WWE,
four-way matches, yeah. But if you're gonna, like I said, WWE always does that. They always put last-minute four-way matches. All of a sudden, there's a tag title match in the pay-per-view. So,
hey, I mean, what do you expect? You know, I mean, that's if you're saying the Wyatts, well, there's nothing left for them if they win. I mean, you got Stardust and Goldust, probably the number one option right there for them to feud with. But if that doesn't work out, we already know what's going to happen with that. Those two will basically feud at SummerSlam. So, but who knows? We'll see what happens with the tag team division. Hopefully, I'm hoping now that the fucking Wyatts win. They deserve this shit. It's long overdue. What else we got? Naomi and
all we did was talk about Monday Night Raw. You could move on to anything else that's going on.
Yeah, I heard Naomi's name out there.
Naomi and fucking Alicia Fox. I gotta give your girl Alicia Fox some credit, Tom.
Yeah.
I gotta give your girl Fox some fucking credit.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this whole match was just basically, you know, more teasing of splitting of the Funkadactyls.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you know, the match was good. You know, Naomi and Alicia Fox had some chemistry. But holy shit, was Cameron so goddamn annoying on commentary tonight. My God, I want not even like an annoying, like a Vicky Guerrero type heel, but an annoying as in I wish she is released and never comes back to the WWE.
She should have got released along with the group that just all got released. Like Naomi's fucking useless. She's garbage
so
too.
Bad. She's just awful. I'm sorry. She's annoying. I don't think she's that good looking even. You know, I mean, you know, looks. You know, we complain about, you know, too many divas being too pretty. Still, you know, she's not. She's supposed to be like this pretty diva, and she's not that pretty. She's terrible in the ring. She just brings nothing.
Alicia Fox is way better, and I've talked bad about Fox before. I'll tell you this,
you know.
Fox was way better than fucking Cameron. Hey, back to Cameron. Back when she was on Tough Enough, her favorite Divas match of all time, Alicia Fox versus Melina.
Wow. That still makes me sick. I wish. I'm pretty sure Stone Cold was thinking it when he heard that. I wish he would have stunned her right there. Just kick the shit out of her and stun her.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, man, I just hope the new Tough Enough they're doing, and rumored to be, makes up from the last Tough Enough, because that shit was horrible. But anyways, back to Cameron. When she was commenting, it just shows a little preview of what she's gonna do solo. Like when she's on her own, you can see maybe a little mic skills from her. She's gonna be annoying.
She can talk.
When
she can definitely talk. That's one thing she can do. I mean, I think she can play like a good role as a manager, if anything. But her as a wrestler, get the fuck out the ring. I mean, leave it to the big girls.
She gets the fuck out of WWE. Jesus.
She can do that too. She's leave it up to the big girls like fucking Naomi, Charlotte. You know, even the Bella Twins are better than her. That's just sad about it. That's really sad. The Bella Twins are fucking better than you.
It's times like this. I wish they would stop having Sarah Del Rey training for a couple months and have Sarah Del Rey just come on the main roster and Cameron's in the ring being an annoying, bitch that she is, and Sarah Del Rey just kicks the ever-loving shit out of her. I mean, just throws her around the ring like a rag doll and just, snaps her arm in half because she's Sarah Del Rey and she's fucking awesome. But, that's just some fantasy booking right there.
Yeah.
Hey. But also, just to let you guys know, Naomi, she defeated Alicia Fox tonight, so that means they actually announced at Money in the Bank we'll see Naomi versus Paige for the Divas title, which actually should be a good matchup because both girls can go. So, and so Money in the Bank got a Divas match. Yeah, if you like Divas matches. Did I just hear my echo? But if you like Divas matches, that's the match to watch. Raw, also, Triple H came down to arrest the competitors for the briefcase Money in the Bank matchup, which Seth Rollins is always was the announcer as the first person in there. We might as well go down to the second list. What's up with this echo shit?
Yeah, you're echoing pretty hard.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. It's not me.
That's definitely not me because I'm on the phone.
That's not me either.
Can't sound me.
But let's go down the list, shall we? Of course, Seth Rollins is in there. Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, Dolph Ziggler, Wade Barrett. Who else we got there? Help me out.
RVD.
Yeah, RVD.
And rounding out, of course, we had
Dean
Seth
Ambrose.
Rollins had a match. Yeah, Seth Rollins had a match with RVD and was about to get the pinfall victory over RVD. And then Dean Ambrose, of course, attacked Rollins. We went backstage, and Seth Rollins was talking with Triple H, and he says he needs Dean Ambrose in that match where he can keep an eye on him and where, he won't cost him the title. So Dean Ambrose has been added to that. And I'm looking forward to that. There's definitely going to be a lot more high spots in that match than in the world title ladder match. Seth Rollins is crazy. Dolph Ziggler always brings it. I think RVD, even at his age, he's been slowing down a lot. I'm sure he can do a couple more big spots. Kofi Kingston, always goes crazy with, the Rumble or Money in the Bank spots. And then you have the powerhouses like Barrett and Swagger who are, going to toss the ladder guys around.
Yeah, definitely.
But who realistically do you really see winning, though? I mean, it's either going to be Ambrose or it's going to be Rollins, and I think it's going to be Rollins as much as I want.
I feel like that one.
I think Rollins has got it. I called this shit a long time ago. I said he's going to win a Money in the Bank match.
Because I think everybody's expecting Seth Rollins to win, and it's kind of like last year where people expected Cody Rhodes to win, and then Damian Sandow ended up winning. So I'm thinking if Seth Rollins doesn't win, it's either because him and Ambrose get into it. I could see Barrett pulling out the win. I think WWE was pretty high on this guy. Barrett's been putting on great matches. He's been getting good reactions. He's been killing it on the mic. So I think they're starting to get some faith in him. And I think, getting this contract would, boost his career. If it's used correctly, could boost his career tremendously. And, how great would it be every week for him to come out and, give us bad news that, Dolph Ziggler, didn't win or Dean Ambrose didn't win. So I could see Barrett possibly winning.
Yeah, or why not? You should try this. Look, there's a good point you made about Wade Barrett, but to me, if Seth Rollins does not win this match, then why not give it to Ambrose? Let's try something a little different.
You're feuding the two guys. Ambrose.
Yeah.
The reason that Reigns and Ambrose aren't together is because Ambrose was going after Rollins, and Reigns is going after Triple H and trying to get the world title.
Yes.
So, if you don't have Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose win, it's because you're leading up to a match possibly at SummerSlam. A huge match between them at SummerSlam, which, that would be, think about how great of a match that would be on a card like that. That's a match that everybody would want to see. It's not, for a title or anything. It's just two guys in a good feud going at it, and there's no titles involved. There's no briefcases involved. It's just, good old-fashioned storylines in a good old-fashioned, wrestling match.
Yeah, but why not they try something like this? Like, see if Ambrose did win it. He can, play mind games with a guy like either Randy Orton if he's the champion, or Cesaro. He could play mind games. He can cash it anytime he wants. With this old school John Moxley look, why not bring it to, stick it to that heel WWE champion? That's something we've never seen before. So I would like to see something like that.
I mean, you could do that, but I think that's more of a heel Ambrose. It's more of a little more psychotic Ambrose that we're going to see when he's not so fully babyface. So that could happen next year. It's either going to be Rollins, Ambrose, or Barrett. Unless WWE's let's just give Ziggler the briefcase again. Which
that'd be pathetic. One thing I can say about not Ziggler, about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, either way, whoever wins, because I think one of those two are going to win. So out of those two, I still think this feud continues either way. If Rollins wins, Ambrose is going to screw him when he tries to, cash it in. So I could see this storyline going for a while. This could be a long, old-fashioned type of feud if the WWE play their cards right, which I'm hoping it happens. And it definitely can happen.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Also, I know you mentioned about the Wade Barrett RVD match. Not RVD. Wade Barrett Ziggler match for the IC title match, which I'm pretty sure Mr. Oscar over here was having a ball over there because he fucking loves it when the WWE shows the IC title love. And what a fucking finish.
Yeah,
fucking Ziggler's tooth came out of some shit.
Yeah, but about the Intercontinental title thing, it just came out of nowhere, but I just like to see some kind of story with it. If it was a feud between the two, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing a Ziggler, Wade Barrett Intercontinental title feud, but is this just a random match just happened? This is what's the problem with the Intercontinental lately. They just put random matches with no storyline into it. So, but back to the match, it was a great match of the night, by the way, and unfortunately, they don't want to push Ziggler because, he's injury prone. They're afraid to push him up the sky. So, They still continue.
Sorry, but your call cannot be completed.
What was that?
What the fuck was that?
Who knows?
That
creeped me out. I was like, what's going on?
Oh shit! That was definitely me. That was definitely me. I was trying to call myself a Skype. Oh, anyways, let's go.
I saw you were busting some Sami Callihan, Solomon Crow thing. That Solomon Crow hacked WrestlingHeads Radio.
I'm sorry, people. That was hilarious right there. Speaking of Sami Callihan, I got some news on him.
Yeah. Let's just get back to Raw. We were just talking about the Intercontinental. I don't know what you guys' thoughts of it, so.
I thought the match was great. They should I think they should start putting, the IC title and the U.S. title on the line each week. At least one of them should be, a weekly type of thing where they have to put that title on the line. Something like a TV title, which is really not a TV title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll put more faces, on their product.
Yeah,
watching
definitely.
the product. Let me say it in another way. Stuff. What else happened?
We had the Stephanie McMahon and Vicky Guerrero match, which Vicky Guerrero came out to Eddie Guerrero's old music, came down to the ring, was standing there. Stephanie came out still in her same dress from earlier.
How about my boy Rusev? Rusev is killer. He's a fucking killer. If you don't like Rusev, hey, fuck you.
Hey, he's doing good.
Rusev's a killer, bro.
I
just need Rusev to actually get like.
And Vicky. What do you guys think of the Stephanie Vicky thing, where Stephanie sent out Rosa Mendez, Layla, and Alicia Fox to get Vicky, and Vicky turned the tables and threw them all into the pool of whatever the brown stuff was?
You know, honestly, I thought they were gonna do the power bomb.
The triple power. They're gonna go Shield on Vicky Guerrero.
I really did. I thought they were gonna do that. I really did.
No, I mean I don't know if she could have taken a triple power bomb. I mean, come on, it's Vicky Guerrero. Like, what diva is going to take a triple power bomb, even if it's from other divas?
Yeah, man.
But anyway, so Vicky Guerrero ended up getting pushed into the pool, ended up getting fired by Stephanie, but then Vicky Guerrero threw Stephanie into the disgusting, I don't even know what that was, mud, pudding, gravy, whatever it was. So she humiliated Stephanie before leaving, and that's the last we're going to see of Vicky Guerrero for a while.
Yeah, definitely. We got a call on the line for a second. Hold on a second.
That's me, bro. This is me. It's me.
You're 661.
It's
what
me.
What the hell are you doing?
I called a fucking number, dude. Another number. I just fucking...
Well, give me a heads up at least, dude.
You see me unmute myself.
Well, fuck, I don't know, man. Give me a heads up at least, dude. Ain't my fault your computer runs slow, man.
Hey, it is what it is.
Get off the porn site, Skids. Get off the porn site.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, going back to Raw. So we concluded Raw with a 4-on-3 handicap main event. We had Alberto Del Rio, Orton, Cesaro, and Bray Wyatt taking on Cena, Sheamus, and Roman Reigns. It was a solid match up until the end. Sheamus got the bro kick on Cesaro and picked up the 1-2-3. And then the Demon Kane came out and attacked everybody, and then Triple H announced him as the 8th member into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match at Money in the Bank. So now we got 8 people in that matchup. What were your thoughts on this?
I have a question for you guys. I'm pretty sure when you guys have the answer. Has Kane been in every Money in the Bank match that the WWE has had? It seems like it.
No, not everyone. He's been in quite a few. But
seriously, seems like each year they had a Money in the Bank. Kane has been in it.
You know, he's been in, but you know, he hasn't been in everyone.
That's what happened on Raw tonight.
Yeah, kind of a quick review of Raw because there's too much to talk about.
Go for it.
All right, you guys want to move on to Ring of Honor Best in the World 2014, debuting live on pay-per-view last night.
Jesus Christ, that was a freaking awesome ass show, I'll tell you that.
It was so worth. You know, it's very rare when you buy, like, actual pay-per-views, you know, because pay-per-views are a little less expensive. But, you know, it's $25 for that pay-per-view. And I felt like I would have paid $35 for it. It was that good. You know, a TNA pay-per-view is $35. I would have paid $35 for that pay-per-view. Solid pay-per-view. it's great to see Ring of Honor. You know, they presented themselves in a great manner. You know, the presentation looked good, and it felt like a major show. You know, it felt like something, you know, historic, and it was kind of a new era for Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
I was happy.
I was happy for them too. I mean, I just hope this can help them, you know, get more step further. You know, like either they get a national deal finally, or something huge. Maybe.
Well, see, I don't know if they're going to get a national deal because they're owned by Sinclair Broadcasting.
Sinclair,
They own television stations.
Yeah,
so it's not like they would get on Spike TV. It's just up to Sinclair.
But let's
it's
just
up
say
to
somebody
Sinclair to,
wants to buy
broadcast Ring of Honor better.
But you cannot really think about this though. What if somebody wants to buy Ring of Honor and want to do something big with it because they've been seen they could draw on pay-per-views? Why not someone wants to buy them, offer them Sinclair a certain price and say, all right, take Ring of Honor, do what you got to do with it, you know? You got to think about shit like that, too.
And realistically, who would do that? You know,
I think Ring of Honor is going the right direction right now. I don't think nobody needs to buy them right now, and I think Sinclair Broadcasting, they're doing fine with them right now. So, But let's talk about the matches.
So, let's go over the matches. So,
we have the six-man Mayhem match for the future Ring of Honor World Television Championship match. So basically, the winner of this match will get a shot at the TV title. You had ACH, you had Caprice Coleman, Tadarius Thomas, BJ Whitmer, Tommaso Ciampa, and I'm going to be wrong with his name. Tom say it?
Watanabe.
Yeah, there you go. And
from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
What a matchup with that one.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect opener because you had a lot of things going in the match. You had some high-flying maneuvers. You had a lot of action in this. You saw what the young talent can do in Ring of Honor. I mean, besides DJ Whitmer, because DJ Whitmer, you know, is an old school, you know, Ring of Honor type of guy, and Watanabe is from New Japan, so technically not a young ROH talent, but we have Tadarius Thomas in there, and Caprice Coleman, Tommaso Ciampa, and especially ACH. ACH was great in this match, and ACH, of course, you guys know, has been killing it all over the Indies.
Yeah, and I've been telling my boy over here, Oscar, you know, ACH is going to win it, you know, and he was. You remember last week he told me to get off his nuts, you know?
Yeah. He's still on his
nuts. Hey, I'm what you call ACH supporter. But ACH basically defeated all the gentlemen that were in that match, and I'm looking forward to see more ACH singles matches, you know. Because the guy can wrestle. I mean, he's not just a high flyer. I mean, I think a lot of people overlook that. They should, you know, watch more ACH matches because the match, I'm going to go back and talk about the match at PWG with him and Ricochet. Hell of a match. Him and Matt Cage put on some good matches at AAW. People need to pay attention to ACH. Yes, hashtag support ACH. But, hell of a opener there.
Yeah. After the pay-per-view, now we practically have to help support Matt Hardy out of the fucking hospital. We're going to have to support his hospital bills, damn it. Hashtag support Matt's hospital bills.
Hashtag he can afford it.
Well, it's true. At 40, the guy should not be taking insane bumps like that. I mean, granted, he practically invented that bump, but he's turning 40.
Matt Hardy's a hard worker, I'll tell you that.
The guy can. I don't want to hear he's too old to be taking bumps. Terry Funks was taking bumps like that through barbed wire when he was 60. I want to hear that.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to take anything away from. We're not taking anything away from the Funkster either. Funkster definitely didn't need to take the bumps that he was taking, you know, past 35, but he was still doing it.
That's why Terry Funk's a legend.
I'm not. We're not debating that. But I'm just saying Matt Hardy doesn't need to. But the fact that he still goes out on the indie scene, knowing that he's not part mainstream, but does it for the love, because obviously we know that he's not getting paid nowhere near what he used to, but doing it practically for the love, for the buzz, for putting the company over, helping him debut on pay-per-view. Maybe it was a way to write him off to get him on TNA because of the tag spots that he has with Jeff over when he's at, Hammerstein Ballroom. This is great. I mean, that was awesome for Matt. Made himself relevant, and that was like the talk, and I think he even trended there for like a few minutes. So
let me say something real quick about Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy's been doing well in the indie scene. I mean, it's not like he just came out of nowhere and just started doing something in Ring of Honor. Like, if you go back from a couple of weeks ago when me and Oscar were at the in San Diego at I'm gonna say Extreme Rules at the House of Hardcore. At the House of Hardcore, like, he fucking finished the match off with a fucking
side effect.
What's the fucking side effect? Side effect to the fucking table. Like, come on, he didn't have to do that. He, just like you said, he does it for the love. Like, Matt Hardy's been doing it. But let's talk about the matchup that he was in. Him and Mike Bennett, they tagged up and they went against the Briscoes. It started off as a regular tag team match, and then it turned into a no disqualification match, which probably was one of the best matches of the night. Fucking brawl like crazy.
Yeah, it was up there. It was a bunch of, there's good spots on there. I think it showcased, the Briscoes, getting a big win. Lots of big bumps. And, of course, Matt Hardy got, of course, taken out of commission. So, maybe this means the Briscoe brothers get a future ROH tag team title shot, even though they just got one. But, for the next big show, they get it.
Briscoe's against Red Dragon. I like that.
Yeah, they just did it a couple weeks ago, but it was at a live event. So, I mean, they could always just do it again.
Yep.
So pretty much all that's left now is they do international events. They're on pay-per-view. Pretty much all that's left is for them to basically start touring nationwide, and that makes them a full-fledged promotion. Am I wrong?
Well,
yeah.
I like the problem is that they have to spend more money. I don't know if Sinclair wants to do that and have them come, say, to the West Coast or start touring a lot, because you do that, then you limit dates from Adam Cole and Michael Elgin for doing other shows, like PWG, AIW, AAW, whatever shows they be doing around across the country. You're going to eliminate them appearance there.
It depends on their schedule, because remember, even though TNA had cross country, and they would come down to LA once every 6 months, once every 4 months, that would still be considered a national promotion, or once a year, but it was still national. I can't remember the last time Ring of Honor came down over to Los Angeles and held a pay-per-view here. The moment that they
to be honest, I mean, Bruce, sorry to cut you off. I mean, this is their first pay-per-view. I mean, just let them get done with their first pay-per-view and try to get to the second one, then we can start talking about that, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because this is just the beginning.
I'm just saying they've accomplished a lot of milestones, and this was another milestone that they accomplished. I don't think talking about the second pay-per-view is going to be another major milestone. I'm talking about what is the next milestone that they have to overcome in order for the world to start considering them, okay, this is a full-on third legit promotion, like a full-on nationwide or national major promotion instead of being considered indie. What is it? We had this discussion a few months ago. What else is it going to be left for them to take? What steps are going to be left for them to take to make it to the next step or evolution of the company so they could be considered a full-on promotion? The only thing that's left is, having exclusivity on certain contracts and then maybe touring nationwide.
Well, I want to say Michael Elgin just signed an exclusive contract with Ring of Honor. Correct me if I'm wrong, buddy.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he did. But to go back to Bruce, I mean, the only step they got to do next, either, like you said, tour, or they got to become national. But I think the only way they can become, like, I mean, or you could say they could start touring around, like saying come to the West Coast more often, is they have to sign a national deal somehow, some way. I mean, that's the only way they can do it.
That, and I think and I was talking to, I think you guys about the last night, and that's one. And then number two is Sinclair has to really increase their penetration in terms of TV, because they have East Coast and they have Midwest down, but their West Coast penetration is almost non-existent, and that's like basically another third of the wrestling market. And I don't know why. It's like Sinclair is kind of like hesitant on putting money. They're like little by little putting money in. I wish they would put in money like Panda Energy was putting in the money in the TNA, pumping just funds in like crazy. If Sinclair was pumping Panda Energy type funds into ROH, we would probably be having those tours right now, and we'd probably be having a lot more exclusive events. And honestly, I'd be like in love with going to a pay-per-view in LA where I'd be chopping it up with you guys, paying $100 for a ticket. Obviously, that's kind of like outlandish, but still, you know what I'm trying to say. I would be very happy and excited to jump down here, more so than probably just as equivalent to what PWG puts on for us, because we just don't get that much Ring of Honor action over here.
There's only one negative side to it, but maybe it'll affect us. But if they do that, that means you got to lock them in somehow. Like, example, Adam Cole, Elgin, Kyle O'Reilly, Tommaso Ciampa, they cannot appear in PWG anymore. So you can't do
Not
that.
necessarily. Remember, TNA said that you can have PWG appearances because the shows aren't televised. There was a long time there.
They still DVD, so that's the problem. That's the problem. That's why Joey Ryan left. That's why we haven't seen T.J. Perkins there for a while. So, and the Wolves are not there no more. So
I think Ring of Honor realizes, you know, a lot of those guys are getting bigger in Ring of Honor because of PWG too. PWG allows guys to do stuff that, you know, Ring of Honor may be a little too hesitant to start doing. And then, you know, once they see it in PWG, they're like, well, you know, he could do it. Like, you know, I'm assuming that, you know, Ring of Honor probably watches, you know, the PWG shows when they can. And, you know, they're going to see Kyle O'Reilly, you know, flourish as a main event singles guy. And they're going to say, you know, he could be our guy going forward.
Tom, did you know that they had kind of like a little mini partnership back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember when Kevin Steen did all those promos?
Had on and off relationships. PWG's had on and off relationships with, you know, a bunch of different companies. You know, Osaka Pro, of course.
But I mean, like also mentioning it on camera. I mean, do you remember when Steen would cut promos mentioning PWG on Ring of Honor television?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Ring of Honor mentions everybody on their television shows. You always hear Steve Corino mention New Japan or PWG. He even mentions WWE, for God's sakes. Like, they mention everybody. Like, I don't think Ring of Honor cares.
I love the fact that, you know, what Tom was saying is PWG is kind of like the experimental playground in a way for ROH. I mean, look, Danny put the strap on Adam first, and I think maybe Ring of Honor management caught notice and say, hey, this is really working out for them. Maybe we should put the strap on him too. So I think they noticed that, it was kind of like a development territory, you know, or a testing territory in a way. That's probably or a testing promotion.
Yeah, and that's why they, you know, there's always a risk. You know, there's always a risk that, you know, by any chance, you know, Kyle O'Reilly or Adam Cole or Michael Elgin could be working at PWG and they can get injured. You know, it could happen. But I think they know that they're going to have faith in them to, you know, not try a whole lot of things in PWG, which, you know, they haven't had any injuries there since. And, you know, Adam Cole has been in, you know, a guerrilla warfare match. And, you know, the Young Bucks have come out of PWG in several guerrilla warfare matches, and they're actually going to have another one next month at 11. So I think, you know, they realize what PWG is, and they realize what it contributes to them. You know, I kind of see it not in the same light, but PWG is to ROH what ROH is to WWE. Even though, back in the day, WWE, was probably looking at PWG too.
true.
When WWE
Tom and Bruce, sorry to cut you guys off, but I know we got a lot of, kind of cover. Still got to go over New Japan, and we still got to go over PWG, Bola. You guys want to finish with the results. Ring of Honor World Television Championship match. You had Jay Lethal and Matt Taven going at it with Truth Martini was handcuffed to the ring post. This was another match that was good, which was actually the second match, and this has been a long feud with Lethal and Matt Taven, which by the looks of it looks like it's going to go to a closing here. Jay Lethal came with the victory because Truth Martini gave some money to one of the Ring of Honor bodyguards. I'm not sure what's his name. I'm not sure if he is a wrestler, but I would assume him and Matt Taven will be feuding after that because he kind of helped Truth Martini and Jay Lethal for Lethal to get the W to continue being the ROH television champ.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's just weird in a way. He just came in and got involved, but
the guy was huge, by the way.
Huh?
I said that bodyguard was huge.
Yeah, I know he was huge, but we'll see what happens to him and Taven. It was just weird that he just came out and up him on the weight, and I just still think Taven's still gonna go after Martini. So, for some reason, I feel like he's gonna get his hands on him one day. This is not the end of it.
Maybe that bodyguard is part of the House of Truth. Do you know anything about this bodyguard, Tom?
I'm not sure who it is. I haven't read anything on who it might be, so could be just a mystery, or maybe I just didn't read too in depth. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Definitely another good match though with those two. But probably an ending to that storyline there.
Hold on.
Next match.
Before the next match, I just want to say something to Tom. I think your boy R.D. Evans' streak is going to end pretty soon because Moose just signed with Ring of Honor, and something's telling me he's going to end that streak.
No, R.D. Evans' streak is going to keep going forever. He's going to be going into the 500s. No way R.D. Evans' streak is ended.
The next match was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Cedric Alexander versus Roderick Strong in a submission match.
Oh, man.
Excellent match. It
fucking win.
I had high expectations going into this match, and they blew it out of the water, too. It was just incredible, though. The holds in this match, you had a little bit of high-flying action from Cedric, some stiff backbreakers from Roddy. It was just a great match to showcase Cedric.
It was a pure wrestling match.
Roddy.
Yeah.
Pure fucking wrestling match, dude.
Yeah. And, for Cedric, that victory was huge for him and got me scratching. No disrespect to ACH, but why not give fucking Cedric a TV title shot?
Because Cedric's going to go for the big money. He's going to go straight to the world title.
Okay.
He doesn't have time to play around with that little TV title.
Hey, don't be talking about my boy ACH, homie.
I said no disrespect, but
I was joking, dude. I'm joking.
But anyways,
I was gonna say, we talked about Matt Hardy putting guys over and putting a lot of things. How many times Roderick Strong has put guys over in Ring of Honor, in PWG, everywhere is amazing. The guy.
It seems like the decade period. Is putting these young guys over.
Yeah, you have Roddy, who's, he's a seasoned veteran. I believe he's 30 years old. He's been in Ring of Honor since practically the beginning. And he just, he's had, his one world title run back in 2011. But he keeps putting guys over, and he consistently keeps putting on great matches. You can always expect, granted with the right partner, that Roddy's going to go and have a great match.
Yeah. Roddy strong, killing it as always. But yeah.
I'm hoping he gets, going a little bit off topic for a sec, but I'm hoping somehow he gets into the WWE.
I was just thinking exactly the same thing. Exactly.
Which it's weird because when the reports were coming out from the camps, they said that Roddy impressed, WWE officials. They said he had good mic skills, and, Roddy's not the best on the mic. He has solid mic skills, but he's not the best. And for him to impress WWE, that must have meant something. But, big ups to Roddy, big ups to Cedric. This was a solid match.
Definitely was. We already went over the tag team match. Kevin Steen and Silas Young.
We actually did not go to the tag team match.
Huh?
We didn't mention the tag team match.
We did talk about the Briscoes and...
Well, the Briscoes...
Oh, I thought you said Red Dragon and Bad Influence.
No, not the title match. We'll finish off with the two title matches. But Silas Young, Kevin Steen, another great match. Once again, it's one of those things where Kevin Steen, the seasoned veteran, he didn't, put over Silas Young because he picked up the victory over Silas. Still made Silas look like a legitimate threat in Ring of Honor.
I kind of wanted Silas to pin Kevin, but if you're going to have Kevin Steen, his contract's running up. I thought that was the right time to have Silas Young, pin Kevin then probably have Kevin pin Silas if that was his last match coming soon. His last matches are going to be coming on a TV show, unless they have one of those special type of TV shows that they have. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, they could have a pay-per-view in July. I think they're. I don't know what pay-per-view is usually in July. I'm trying to think.
What's the next big show is what?
This is a Glory Bound in September.
Yeah, I mean, see, there's no show in between. That's why.
There's Glory by Honor. There's Death Before Dishonor. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check, but I think they're going to do a pay-per-view in July. If not, then maybe he'll finish. Maybe that's a way to garner some TV views. Is to say Kevin Steen's last match is going to be on TV.
That'd definitely be big. But Steen and Silas Young.
But you kind of sensed it with you saw how many streamers were thrown at Kevin Steen. The ring was flooded with them.
Ridiculous. I think he had the most streamers tonight, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's everybody's kind of expecting his time to come up. And it's going to be pretty sad when he leaves Ring of Honor because he's been practically the face of that company, for years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he still says he is. Next matchup, one of the best tag teams in the world, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, against another top 5 best tag team in the world, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, for the ROH Tag Team Championship matchup. This match, I'm going to go ahead and pass this shit on. Bruce, did you watch Best in the World?
No, I just saw highlights of it on YouTube.
Okay, all right. I want to ask Oscar first. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Excellent. I mean, even, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, they're freaking old. They still pull up a hell of a match with Red Dragon. I mean, I feel like, they fit in Ring of Honor's tag team division you know, coming from TNA, and now you come in the Ring of Honor, which is the better tag division. They fit in, and if they want to plan to do a second match, I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah. All I know is Red Dragon, they're the fucking shit. Bad Influence, they're the shit too. Hell of a match. I'm just waiting to see the rematch, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they're going to save the rematch for probably maybe Final Battle. Maybe let it cool off, because, you know, this match, I thought it was a very good match, but I felt like there was something missing. I felt like they didn't go.
Yeah, same here.
I felt like they didn't go as
there's
far
definitely
as
something
they
missing.
could have. You know, I didn't feel like they went all out as they could have. But it was, you know, that's how great, you know, these tag teams are, is they didn't even go all out, and it was still a really good match.
Honestly, I was looking forward to that match to kind of reach, you know, the same level as the Bucks and Red Dragon's match.
Well, it could, you know, because you think about the first Young Bucks Red Dragon match when Young Bucks took the titles off of Red Dragon. That match, it was a good match, but it wasn't what their second match was. It's always usually the second matchup that is the better match.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the main event.
And I believe the man, Oscar, called it. Michael Elliott, the new Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, I mean, it was obvious. You have to do that, because if you're introducing a new pay-per-view audience, you have to do something different, and this is the way you do it. You have to give the belt to Elgin. But I gave it to. I like the way how Cole lost it. It's like you gotta make it like it's tough to beat Adam Cole, and that's what they did, and I enjoyed the finish and everything. And I enjoyed the streamers, and it seems like when Adam Cole was like still laying down in the ring, the fucking streamers fucking pretty much buried him. You can't even see Adam Cole until he got off the ring.
How about the first time when the fans fucked up?
I don't know if you guys saw it, but the look on Adam Cole's face as he was walking back through the curtain and he was turning back, and he looked like that he was with a girl for 10 years and she just broke his heart.
Yeah.
That's the look he had.
Yeah.
He was devastated. He was covered in streamers, and he just looked like his heart was broken, that just added so much more. You know, this match, it was a good match. You know, one of Cole's best matches so far. I got to say, big ups to Todd Sinclair. That super kick that he took from Adam Cole, holy shit. That is how you do a proper ref bump. You know, even though, you know, in Ring of Honor you don't like to see ref bumps because it's kind of more of a WWE TNA thing, it was still really good to see that, because it was kind of indicative of what Adam Cole was like, in that you're like, oh no, a ref bump, Adam Cole is going to retain. But then he couldn't do it. Everything that Adam Cole had tried that won him the title in the past and helped him retain in the past wasn't working anymore. Elgin
was a hell of a match. Definitely hell of a match.
You know,
honestly,
big congrats to Elgin. You know, I've been critical of Elgin for his mic skills. You know, Michael Elgin is, you know, I'm going to be honest here. He's, excuse me, he sucks on the mic. He is very monotone. He doesn't give a lot of, you know, pure emotion. You know, usually when you give emotion, your voice kind of fluctuates up and down, and your face gets red when you're angry, and you do a lot of hand motions. And Elgins is not that type of guy, but you can't deny what he does in the ring. You know, the guy's been putting on great matches for years.
Definitely,
big
crazy ass match. Honestly, when Cole had did one of his finishers, I forgot exactly what's the fucking name of the finisher, but when he did his finisher, and I already thought that was a 1, 2, 3.
What?
The one where he jumps on the head and he flips you over.
Sunrise?
Yeah, I thought it was over from there, but apparently he wasn't, and I was shocked too. Like the same face as fucking Cole made, the same face I had made. But both these guys went all out. Both these dudes went all out. Respect what both dudes did, and congratulations to Mike Weldon. Well deserved.
Yep. But unfortunately, not to break people's hearts, but I think it's going to be a short reign.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's going to be his first contender? So we'll have to wait and find out on that one.
I think it just depends, like, what's Ring of Honor's schedule and Adam Cole's schedule. It's like, I know he's going to Japan, but what is Ring of Honor's schedule going to a big event? Like, I'm not saying the big event could be a pay-per-view, but if you're going to do that, then I'll say the next opponent got to be Mike Bennett. But Adam Cole's Mike Bennett. Well, hey, I'm not saying Mike Bennett deserves it.
Is working his way up.
Yeah, but think about this though. It seems like Ring of Honor loves Mike Bennett a lot, and it wouldn't surprise me to give him a world title run down the road. But they'll like to put him in the picture somehow.
Give it strong, damn it. Give it to Roddy. You know what, guys?
I'd love to see that.
There's a lot of people we can talk about, but let's talk about what we need to mention. There will be...
Hold on. Should we go to the commercial break?
There will be four gentlemen. Excuse me. Yeah, four. Four gentlemen going to New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is on the Ring of Honor roster. And that is former Ring of Honor champion Adam Cole, the tag team champions Red Dragon, Michael Bennett, ? And Maria, her fine ass.
Yep, they're going to be appearing on the last day of the G1 Clmax.
You see,
I might as well announce it now. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Red Dragon will be facing the Time Splitters. So.
You see, we had Bobby on last week, and he was like, I don't know about going to Japan and all this stuff, and I'd like to go against the Time Splitters. I bet he knew the whole fucking time.
He knew it. That's Bobby Fish. He was just like, you know what? I'm not going to tell these wrestling heads nothing.
Yeah. And you know what? And back to Mike Bennett, you know what? I totally forgot he's going to Japan. So you could scratch him out, going to be the next opponent for Elgin. But Mike Bennett, I don't know what the fuck they see in this guy. I mean, I'm sure that the New Japan officials.
Yeah, I think we see some it's more American appeal. You know, he kind of fits that just like, cocky, kind of American jock. He has the hot girl and all that. It's some way to get some good heat on him if he goes to Japan.
You know what, Tom?
I don't understand it. I'm not a big Michael Bennett fan. Yes, he can put on some good matches, but I just don't see anything really special in him. And it annoyed me when I looked on Twitter and I see people saying, well, all these Michael Bennett haters need to shut up because he's going to New Japan. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Yeah,
the
but
dude is going to power drive somebody on the apron in Japan, and I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody about to take that bump like crazy. Who's ready to get power drives? So just guarantee.
I see people on Twitter. They're like, all you Michael Bennett haters need to shut up because he's going to New Japan. And I was thinking, well, the Gracies are in New Japan, and the Gracies suck a whole bunch of fucking dick. They haven't had one decent match in New Japan. All their matches in New Japan have sucked. So you can't say that there's all this quality talent in New Japan. There's a lot of great talent in New Japan, no doubt about it. New Japan has been, kicking ass for years, but there's still some shit talent in New Japan.
I'm looking for Time Splitters versus Red Dragon, two of the best tag teams in the world.
But you cannot deny. Go ahead, finish.
I was going to say Kyle O'Reilly's going to kill it. Bobby Fish is going to kill it. Go ahead, Bruce.
What I was going to say is you cannot deny right now the growth and the boom that is basically now starting to influence our culture and all wrestling. And what I'm personally looking forward to is basically having Bullet Club show up in PWG.
I don't know that's going to happen.
Well, that's the thing. So what we were talking about today on Foster is, you know, we noticed that you're going to have a lot of people who do occasionally show up in New Japan who are going to be at PWG. And one of those big names was AJ Styles, who doesn't normally show up. So I was kind of taken back by that. And Skits, you had told me that the Bucks were on the card. I didn't even know that. And I'm thinking and asking you guys.
No, I'm pretty sure. No. I never said that yet. But I was going to get to PWG in a bit because I'm kind of getting into New Japan's.
Let's take a commercial break, come back, and I'm pretty sure we could talk forever about PWG. So that's going to take.
We're definitely going to get to PWG. We're going to say that for last. Got to take the best for last. We got a lot of shit on PWG. The best for last. PWG. We'll be right back. Just for that, PWG's First Lady.
I'm sorry I don't have anything really cool to say like the other guys, but you're listening to WrestlingHeads Radio, and this is Candice LeRae. Mwah.
Four Corners Radio is the home for the best professional wrestling and independent wrestling, discussions and coverage. Billy, Ant, Martin, and Sam bring you three of the best podcasts every week. The Four Corners Raw Roundtable, the Indie Project, and the Saturday Freestyle. Along with the podcast, FourCornersWrestling.com is designed with all wrestling fans in mind. Feature articles, videos, the weekly shows, and much more. Four Corners and WrestlingHeads are teaming up to bring you wrestling's next revolution. Are you ready? Yeah, we're back. New Japan Pro Wrestling put on a fucking hell of a show. Yeah, you might as well start with, just speaking of the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks put on their IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles on the line against the Time Splitters. And we already know the Bucks have history with the Time Splitters, with their since they've been there in New Japan, and it was one of your old-fashioned type of tag team matches, and we have a new IWGP Junior Tag Champs, and that is the Time Splitters. Congratulations to Alex Lee and my boy. Hey.
Yo, Skits, you're kind of cutting off there. Yo, you're kind of cutting off, Skits. I don't know about the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I can't hear Skits at all.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all, Skits. But anyways, I think what Skits trying to say, we got new tag team champions. The Time Splitters are your new tag team champions. Bucks end up losing the titles. So, Tom, what's your thoughts, man?
I thought this was good. I thought it was good to kind of take the belt off the Bucks for a change. You know, Time Splitters have been killing it in New Japan for years, and you know, they're favorites over there. They love Kushida and Shelley over there in Japan.
Yeah.
So it was once again another great junior heavyweight tag title match. And that's what they keep doing with that whole junior tag division over there. They've been killing it for years. You know, it kicked off New Japan Dominion like it always does, and it sets a good pace for the show. And it was a good way to start up Dominion.
Yeah, definitely. By the way. Yeah, and Skits back. Skits is back.
Hey, I don't know what last thing you guys heard me say, but hey, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you want to keep going with Dominion?
What did you say?
I said, did you want to keep going with New Japan Dominion?
Oh, no, I was going to skip to another match, another New Japan match. I was actually going to...
Oh, yeah, you know, New Japan Dominion, besides the one that you're going to mention, I know what you're going to mention, we had Tetsuya Naito defeated Tama Tonga, the Bullet Club. We had Hiroki Goto and Shibata defeat Tomoaki Hamya and Yuji Nagata. We had Ten Cozy which right now they are the NWA World Tag Team Champions.
Yep.
They defeated Killer Elite Squad, consisted of Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer. We had Kota Ibushi. I don't know if this was the match you're going to get to next, but Kota Ibushi retained his IWGP Junior Heavyweight title against Ricochet.
Yeah.
Two of the best high flyers in the game today, and two of the best wrestlers in the world today. Fucking killers.
Jesus Christ, those reversals they were doing and shit, man. Like fucking Ricochet doing flips, landing on his feet, and fuck, those guys, man. Hurricane or other shit they were trying to do. Like, remember some of those little reverses they were doing. Those counters and shit.
That crazy-ass Hurricane that Kota did on Ricochet and he landed on his feet. Like, no. I'm not a pushover. I'm definitely looking forward. Since Tom just told you guys who won, I know I'm looking forward to seeing a rematch with those two and more battles with those two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
Ricochet is just. I said it last week. Probably said it weeks past. Ricochet is just killing it. You know.
Yep.
He went into this match and he did his thing like he normally did. Nothing was out of the ordinary. You saw some new stuff in this match, and this was only, I think it was only a 12-13 minute match. It's only a taste of what these guys can do.
Yep. And like I said, I'd like to see more between the two. I do see a rematch down the road, but I was hoping Ricochet to win this match, but unfortunately, I'm not ashamed that he lost to Kota Ibushi. So Kota Ibushi still doing his thing out there. He's the man right now in the junior heavyweights.
He's a beast. That's what the fuck he is. But next match, we had
we had Suzuki Gun, which is Minoru Suzuki and Takashi Azuka, and they defeated Sakuraba and Toriano.
Yeah.
Solid tag team match. And then we had the Bullet Club, which was AJ Styles and Yujihiro Takahashi. They defeated two members from Chaos, Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii. Just keep building AJ Styles and Okada, maybe even AJ Styles and Ishii.
Yeah, you know what? I actually tweeted that earlier. I said I want to see Ishii and Styles go at it because that's something that.
You got cut off again?
You got cut off again.
You just got cut off again, man.
Anyway, so, Ishii has been killing it. If you have not seen this guy in 2014, I suggest you go back from January from Wrestle Kingdom and you start watching this guy's matches. He has been putting on 4-star matches every single match. Maybe this one, maybe the only exception because it was a tag team match, but his singles matches have been killing it. He is right now the wrestler of the year. I don't know how you cannot put anybody else above this guy.
Well, but is he the rest of the year?
He might have. Ishii might have the match of the year. He's had a couple of them. I'm trying to think which one. His match with Ibushi could be a top contender for match of the year.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were talking about him being wrestler of the year, and I was like, wait a minute.
Well, I don't know how you can't put Ishii up there as the wrestler of the year. Like, I'm not talking about like, when you say wrestler of the year, maybe you would say like a John Cena or like an Adam Cole, like a main guy. But I'm talking about just in the ring personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you there. Maybe he could be nominated for our best wrestler. To me, I still think it's Ricochet, even though he lost.
I would put Ricochet up there, but Ricochet hasn't been putting on, like, Ishii has been putting on 4-star matches every match. Except for this match, which, it was a tag team match. But you look at
with Tom,
every single one of his singles matches this year, Ishii has been killing it.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with Tom. The match with him and Kota Ibushi, that match was a killer. The match with him, it seems like every fucking show that he's been, New Japan has had, he's had the match of the night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
His match against Tetsuya
Naito. Both matches with Naito.
Yep. His match with Naito back from February right now is my match of the year. His one from April was a little bit below that, but other than that, like I said, he's just been killing it, and that's really all I can keep saying.
A lot of people are sleeping on my boy, Ishii. Like, if you're not familiar with Ishii, you need to get familiar now because he's a fucking beast. And I actually want to see him in Elgin fight when they have the New Japan Ring of Honor shows. I actually want to see that, but it didn't happen. That was actually on my fantasy bookings.
Yeah.
But let's go on to the next match.
Yeah, so we had the Bullet Club of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. They defeated Ace to King, which is Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Toji Makabe, and it was for the IWGP Tag Team titles. Solid match. Not too much. It wasn't, match of the year candidate, but it was a solid match.
Yeah.
And once again, Bullet Club retained.
Expecting Gallows and Anderson to drop the titles, but unfortunately they kept them.
Yeah, I think they're just, even though the Young Bucks dropped their junior heavyweight tag titles, I think they're still continuing the whole thing where the Bullet Club seems to control a lot of the heavyweight scene.
Yeah.
Because in the next matchup was for the IWGP Intercontinental title main event for New Japan Dominion. We had the champion Shinsuke Nakamura defending against Bad Luck Fale, and Shinsuke Nakamura dropped the title to Fale. I don't know what you guys think of that. What are your thoughts?
The guy was red hot. He was on fire. And then remember we were discussing this, Tom, about a month ago. If Fale lose to Nakamura would have hurt him, and you don't think it was not going to hurt him, but hey, why not give him the strap? The guy was on fire. He deserved he deserved the title for having just being on fire. He's just been killing it in New Japan.
Yeah, and it just keeps going with the whole Bullet Club versus Chaos feud that's going on in New Japan. So, it makes sense in a way.
Another thing I noticed that if the Bucks didn't drop those junior heavyweight tag team belts, then they would have every belt in New Japan, the whole Bullet Club.
I think that's Bullet Club's plan.
Yep. So the Bucks gotta get back those titles,
Yeah, and the Ever belt, I believe they want that on their side too.
Yep. And it just seems like every end of the show they have to end with the Bullet Club.
Promo.
Promo in the end. It seems like it always has to end that way.
Carl Anderson's a fucking beast, by the way, for that. Calling out the WWE and shit. He called out Kofi Kingston, Shawn Michaels. Who else he called out? Called out a lot of dudes, but shit. Great fucking event. Looking forward to the G1 Clmax. I got all the fucking competitors here and the matches, which we'll probably have to say that for Wednesday's show, because we're not gonna have enough time to talk about everything. Yeah. So let's take another fucking break and PWG talk. How about that, gentlemen?
Yes. Yes.
I'm ready.
Alrighty, we'll be right back.
Howdy, howdy. This is the Intrepid Traveler called London, and I've touched base on your planet. You're listening to WrestlingHeads Radio, and if you decide not to listen to them, I'll fry your brain.
Yo, welcome to WHRADIO. Today's show is brought to you by the good people down at WrestlingRambles.com. For the latest in wrestling news, in-depth blog, and hot topic discussion, hit up WrestlingRambles.com. Remember, it's not just any ramble, but a Wrestling Rambles. WrestlingRambles.com. And also special thanks to Ring Rust Radio and FLTDWrestling.com. Thank you for listening.
Welcome back to Wrestling Radio. I am Skid.
Yo, welcome to WHRADIO.
What?
Oh, Botchy. Skits with the botch.
Bob also.
Botch a mania.
Skits with the botch. Oh, welcome back, though. I'm Skid. I'm here with Tom, Bruce, and Oscar. And I think somebody needs to take Bruce up a fucking mute. Because I know Bruce
don't be a sheep.
I'm still here. I don't know why you're muting my ass. I'm not talking.
Because your background, buddy.
I have no background going on. I'm completely quiet in my room.
Going on like.
Well, let's keep this shit going. PWG. Where do we start? We got to start off with the first person that was announced to enter Ebola out of nowhere, June 20th. It said 3 nights, 24 participants to the 2014 Battle of Los Angeles, and it takes place on my birthday, gentlemen, August 29th, the 30th and 31st, birthday week before the pop-off, and the first person that is announced in the PWG Ebola event, Matt Sydal, a.k.a. Evan Bourne.
God, when I heard that, first when I saw the announcement that it was going to be 3 days, 24 participants, I was like, oh shit, something's going off. And then Matt Sydal, first person announced, it was already crazy, and it's just going to get crazier.
It's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. Big fucking deal. To have fucking Matt Sydal, a.k.a. Mr. Evan Bourne, which I would probably never call that again, at Ebola. But you know what's crazy? What really had me popping off? The second person who was fucking announced, and I believe it was like the next day. Drew Gulak, we making this fucking PWG debut at Ebola. What?
God damn.
Fuck. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna run down the rest of the participants, and then let's just go off. It's Maniac Monday.
Oh my God. Trevor Lee.
Then we had third person announced was Trevor Lee. Fourth person announced Chris Sabin, making his return. PWG.
Chris Sabin.
Fifth participant, Johnny Gargano. Sixth participant, Brian Myers, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins, making his PWG debut.
That's a big deal.
Seventh participant, new ROH World Champion, Michael Elgin. Eighth participant, another PWG debut for Biff Busick.
That's going to be
Number
exciting.
9, we got the PWG World Champion, Kyle O'Reilly. 10th participant, we got Brian Cage. 11th participant, ACH. 12th participant, Zack Sabre Jr. 13th participant, Rick
Don't
Swan.
forget, you're making his debut too.
Yeah. 14th participant, Trent. 15th participant, Cedric Alexander. 16th participant, AJ Styles.
Yep.
What?
Holy shit.
What the fuck, PWG? Are you really trying to make me broke over buying T-shirts and fucking buying tickets? Are you really doing this to me?
God damn. You know, this is the first time they've had 24 participants since 2007, which was actually Matt Seidel's last BOLA before he left for the WWE, and now he's making his return this year. You know, I'm going to probably say it over the next couple months. This right now is looking to possibly be the best BOLA ever. You know, 2000. You look back at 2007.
They're not even done.
Almost. Go ahead, Skids.
I was gonna say they're not even done announcing all their participants yet. I mean, we might have some.
I have a funny feeling. Maybe I'm going to be completely wrong, but I feel like the last participant to be announced is going to be Super Dragon.
Okay. No. It's weird that he says that because I think exactly the same thing. I mean, like, you can't get much bigger than the number one free agent on the indie market being AJ Styles. How much bigger then can you get than Papa PWG himself, Super Dragon?
Yeah.
That's
it.
The
problem with Super Dragon is the last time he came back, which, you know, he came back at Steam Wolf back in 2011, had the match at PWG Fear a month later, and then he got injured again. So the only problem with Super Dragon is he in shape to go, you know, 3 nights? Is he, you know, going to be able, because I don't want to see Super Dragon come back for 3 nights and get injured again, because, you know, even though we might not see him again, you don't want a guy to get injured, because, you know, that means, you know, medical bills for that guy. You know, I'm talking personal wise, you know, it's medical bills for him. It's, you know, it's just a pain in the ass to be injured when you possibly didn't need to be, but, you know, we'll see. Hopefully Super Dragon's been, you know, hitting the gym, and he's been getting in great shape, and we'll see what happens.
How many more participants are left? Because I remember I was talking to Oscar, Chris, and Bruce. Maybe Candice and Joy will be in a tag match, and I'm going to assume it's going to be against the Bucks. You know, because if anything, I don't see the Bucks in BOLA. So, if anything, that's going to be a tag match.
And you have to think, you know, it's 3 nights. You know, I forget, because, like I said, the last time they did this was 2007, which 2007, you go back to night 3 of 2007, and that's one of the best BOLA's nights that you'll ever see. And, you know, night 2 of BOLA from last year was great as well. Yeah. But you look at the talent back from 2007 on night 3, holy shit. It's crazy. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to split this up, but you need those filler matches to fill out the card. So not everybody can be in BOLA.
How many participants?
I'm refreshing PWG's Twitter and just seeing if they announce more names.
Yep.
Does anybody know how many more participants there is?
8 left.
8 left. Yeah.
Okay. Because you got guys like Chris Hero that haven't been named yet. You got guys like Chop that hasn't been named yet.
Ricochet.
Has Roderick Strong been named yet? No.
Ricochet.
Been named yet. Who else?
Ricochet.
I don't think he's gonna. Honestly, I don't think Ricochet probably be in it because of Japan, but never know. I did see him tweeting that he wants to be booked against Zack Sabre Jr. So,
yeah.
What matches would you guys want to see? Like, who do you want to see head to head with each other?
All right. I know we just saw this at Evolve, but Drew Gulak and Biff Busick in a PWG match. I think I'll be down for that.
All right, I'll one up that. Drew Gulak versus Roderick Strong.
I want up both of you, Zack Sabre Jr. and Matt Sydal.
Oh.
This is one I want to see. Drew Gulak versus Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah. All right, here's one.
Dude.
Super Dragon versus Chris Hero.
I'm not even gonna put Super Dragon in because he's not even in the tournament yet, so I can't even put him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but it's gonna be this shit is stacked, and it's not even done yet. I know we'll be talking about this probably for the last couple more days here on the show.
You know what's funny? I think Chris mentioned on Voxer that he thinks Carl Anderson will be announced. Like, why not? Can they bring Carl Anderson if you're bringing these guys in like AJ Styles and all these guys? Why not Carl Anderson?
Pretty much.
Yeah, he'd been on PWG before. Yeah, he'd been on PWG before.
So then that means possibly you may have the Bucks plus Carl plus AJ.
You also have to think maybe because Kazarian's making his return to Ring of Honor at 11, Kazarian might be announced. Daniels could be announced.
Shit.
God damn, all right, they need to up it from 24 to 32. That's what they need.
Pretty much. To get every available talent that's, somewhat of a big, significant name. Bring some over from Japan while you're at it. You know what?
Or you know what they need to do? They can keep it at 24, but on night one of Bola, they need to have, like, a 15-man battle royal.
I was just going to say the same thing.
They need to just bring in all of the indie talent.
What they need to do is bring my boy Bobby Fish and JT Dunn in, and I'll be satisfied.
Yeah, I want to see JT Dunn in there.
You don't see him? You said?
No, I said I want to see JT Dunn there.
Oh, but yeah, because JT, he did show up at PWG, not wrestling, but he was watching the show, and it kind of had you scratching your head, like, is JT Dunn getting close to showing up here at PWG?
Maybe. And if you look at this Bola, you already look at this list, we still have 8 people to go. It just shows that Excalibur and Super Dragon listen to their fans, because we've wanted to see Drew Gulak and Biff Busick in PWG for some time, and they didn't even just do that. They brought back Sabin. They brought back Seidel. They brought back AJ Styles. They brought in. Did anyone expect Zack Sabre Jr. to be in here? I didn't.
No, I didn't either.
I honestly didn't expect AJ Styles to come in either. I was surprised Danny actually paid for his asking price. So that was kind of like a big shock to me, knowing how much he's asking for.
Yeah, and see, this is. I was saying this. I would say maybe a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. I said PWG needed to do something to kind of refresh people, because over the past couple months, I would say maybe since All-Star Weekend from December, they've been on kind of a, not even a high, they've been kind of just staying stagnant, staying at the same place. We're seeing the same matches, but mixed up a little bit. Solar, Soulful Rock and Roll, from what I saw. I haven't gotten the DVD yet, but from what I've heard, it's kind of the first step in a new direction, and then PWG 11 looks good as well, and then this tournament is just taking it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's funny story, Tom. I actually, I'm not going to SummerSlam now, and I'm just going to go to PWG Bola the whole weekend.
Yeah. Well, my question to all you guys is that now that AJ Styles is coming back to PWG, who do you guys want to see him wrestle at Bola?
I want to see him. First, I want to see him and Seidel, him and Sabin, and possibly, I would say, him and Trent. I think him and Trent could do good.
Him and Trent?
Yeah, we just saw that at Wrestling Hollywood.
That's why I was going to say, I know you guys are some in Hollywood at
it would be
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So.
Well, that's good.
I was going to say, no offense to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, but I think they would step up their game to a whole nother level if they were in PWG.
I was just about to say that. I think it'll be good for all the fans too, because the fans can buy the DVD now and actually watch the match. Because Championship Wrestling Hollywood, I don't think they're allowed to even put that on their TV show. You know what I mean? That match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but I could actually see AJ going against Sabin, so I could see that happening, because it seems like they got to put AJ who he's familiar with, and he's familiar with Chris Sabin.
Hey, AJ Styles versus Kyle O'Reilly is another good one. Yes, I'm fucking saying Kyle O'Reilly twice because he's on the show tomorrow. On fucking Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And I feel like we haven't discussed him much. He's kind of like, not an underdog, but kind of a dark horse, is Brian Myers, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins. I think he can put on some great matches with, I think, a lot of the people in the tournament so far. I think he could possibly go in there with Trevor Lee, maybe Gargano. It just all depends who he's matched up with, but I think he's going to mesh well. I think the fans are going to love to see him in PWG because, the guy has a lot of talent, and he wasn't, able to show a lot of it in the WWE.
I actually saw highlights with him in the match with him and Eric Fox at Beyond Wrestling. So, saw a couple highlights. So, should definitely be very interesting to see Kurt Hawkins actually go out and do his thing instead of being held back, like he's usually held back in the WWE.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna throw out like a dream match of mine, and I would love to have Steen, Adam Cole, Chris Hero, and AJ Styles go at it.
Well, Steen, I think his time is running out on the Indies, so
that's what I'm saying. I'd like to see that. I know that's not going to happen, but I'd like to see that happen before everyone gets split up and goes their different ways and whatnot. But that to me would just be like an indie match made in heaven.
Well, I'm sorry to bust your boat, but don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, obviously. It's a dream made in heaven.
But Kevin Steen did wrestle AJ Styles at House of Hardcore not too long ago. You want to go find that match somewhere. And Chris Hero.
Didn't he wrestle in 2CW as well?
They probably did.
Yeah.
Like, pretty sure you can find a match if you want to watch Kevin Steen wrestle these guys. Actually, have some broken news. I don't think Eric Fox is going to be in it because I think he broke his wrist.
Oh.
Broke his wrist. I think in that match against Kurt Hawkins, too, I want to say.
Well, I don't know how long a broken wrist lasts, but Bola's still 2 months away. I don't know if he still has time to, like...
Hold on. Excuse me. Broke my wrist, several sprained his elbow, too, so...
Oh, shit.
He said if you go to his Facebook, he says he's no-selling that shit. Just like I did all weekend, including while giving handshakes to all my boys trying to not flinch. Still working every show. He said I'm announced for, and he's looking for bookings. So hey, he's gonna fucking wrestle her. Fuck it, Eric Fox, we respect you for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if, and this is a big if Eric Fox doesn't even get into Bola or whatever, is he booked for 11? I don't think he's booked for 11.
I don't think he's booked for 11. Let me double check that.
So if he's not booked for 11, or even if he's not booked for Bola, and I think with the Eric Fox, I think it would be good for him to get some time off in PWG because, we've seen a lot of him constantly in PWG, and, he always puts on great matches, and he always looks like he's going to kill himself. So I think he needs to just take some time away and kind of refresh, who he is, and then he comes back and, out of nowhere, you just see Eric Fox flipping over the ropes and doing suicide dives and doing that front flip off the top rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad thing for him. So, hopefully he's not, too seriously hurt. But
oh, I got to see the funniest tweet ever, guys.
What?
Thank you, official PWG, for not booking Crime Time for Ebola 2014. Wow.
Why would he want to bring Crime Time?
Shout out to my boy Ryan. He's actually from Las Vegas. Shout out to Ryan, a PWG regular. He's actually the one that tweeted that. Shout out to him.
Nice, dude.
You know what dude I'm talking about? The dude with the beard?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
The one with the girlfriend?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Well, he dates with that guy. But now the question is, and this question is for Tom, are you coming to California for Bola 2014?
I don't. This is like the first time I'm like really considering. It's just if I lived even in like Nevada or Arizona, I would be there. But it's a plane ticket plus all 3 nights of Bola, T-shirts, beer, hotel. It adds up quick.
Well, let's just do this.
Maybe I'll hit the lotto.
Hey,
your boys are there the whole weekend.
Hey, you know what? We're staying in a hotel on the weekend. It's Skits' birthday weekend. You can party with us. Hopefully we bring some women there, and you can have a good time in California.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Like I said, this announcement of Bola has been crazy.
Yeah, I know my boy Eric pissed off because he's actually moving to Chicago, and he's going to miss Bola and 11. He's basically moved to Chicago at the wrong time.
You guys have been, PWG regulars for how long? A couple of years?
Yeah.
I say since 2012.
2012, so yeah, a couple of years. Is so far, it's not even fully announced yet. Like I said, the card's not even fully announced yet. Is Bola 2014 your most anticipated show so far?
Yes.
Hands down. Yep. This has been the best card I've ever heard them announce since I've been going to PWG shows.
Yeah, like I said earlier, this could go down as one of the best Bolas. Maybe even one of the best, one of the best nights in PWG. Usually night 3, which is usually night 2, but night 3 could be something great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we will definitely see what happens. I'm pretty sure all the announcements hopefully will be announced on Wednesday. By Wednesday, we can definitely talk to Kyle Riley about his match at Best in the World, and we'll talk about him winning the PWG title and him entering Bola and the participants in Bola. We'll talk about that with him, and also him going to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Also. Before we go off, I just want everybody to know Solomon Crow is, again, being repackaged before he hits WWE TV. So, yeah.
Well, did they say what is he going to be repackaged as?
They didn't say. They just said...
I feel like, I don't think this is a bad thing. Sammy, Solomon, whatever you want to call him, he's 26 years old and still really young. I think they're trying to find something with him that can really work. Because if they didn't care about him, they would have just thrown him on TV already. I think they're waiting to find the perfect thing for him. Whether it's hacker gimmick, maybe they're going back to the hacker gimmick. Maybe they're just going to make him crazy Sami Callihan that he was in the Indies. Who knows? But obviously they're taking time to think about what they're going to do with this guy.
Yeah. But we'll definitely see what happens with Sammy. I hope everything goes well with him. Pretty sure we'll have more news on that soon.
Yeah, I thought he hacked on the show earlier today.
We got 9 minutes left, though, here, gentlemen. Again, ladies and gentlemen, tune into WrestlingHeads Radio on Wednesday. The time we actually will be going on is actually 11 o'clock East Coast time. A little early,
Wednesday. Kyle O'Reilly, Ring of Honor, half of Red Dragon's Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. Kyle O'Reilly will be here. He's also your Pro Wrestling Guerrilla champ. He'll be on here talking with us. Be sure to tune into that. And we'll also be talking about TNA's show in New York City that will be happening this weekend also.
Probably Todd will be there.
The six-sided ring is back. And we'll get to that on Wednesday. So we got to save some Wednesday talk. So, yeah. Before we leave, make sure you check that website out, WrestlingHeads.com. Follow us on Twitter at WrestlingHeads. iTunes, WrestlingHeads. Google Chrome. Yes, I said it, Bruce. Fucking WrestlingHeads. YouTube.
What? Google Chrome is a browser.
Google Plus, you mean?
Did I say Google Chrome?
What?
Is that another
Again?
company? How many times have I botched? I've been botching like 4 times today in the show.
Google Chrome.
Call me fucking Skits Cara. Nah, but yeah.
Oh, man. Google Chrome.
Yeah, find us on Google Plus.
Follow me on Internet Explorer. Be sure to follow me on Firefox.
Follow me on Safari.
You guys are funny. I love you guys, though. Also...
But anyways, don't forget, T-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees /WrestlingHeads. Buy that shit.
YouTube.com. YouTube.com/wrestling.
Yep. Go to YouTube and subscribe us, too, when you are subscribers.
Just fucking Google the name WrestlingHeads, damn it.
Yeah.
Follow me. Follow moi at WH Skits. And I'm going to leave it on to the rest of you guys.
All right. You can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter, Instagram, and Vine. Go to WrestlingHeads.com. Check out my classic match of the week. You can also not only check my stuff out, you check out everybody's blogs. Hopefully Tom makes one too and get his ass to California for Bolo weekend. Something's telling me he will be here. With a Bo Dallas smile on his face. And and I can see him doing the thumbs ups too when he walks into Bola. And then WrestlingHeads.com and just listen to us on Wednesday with Kyle O'Reilly, and there you go.
There you go.
I got a top 10 coming by tonight, y'all.
Yeah.
Be sure to check that out. You could follow me on Twitter at Tommy, not Dreamer. And keep an eye out on WrestlingHeads.com for a possible future blog, but also check out Oscar and Skits' blog. Also check out, is Chris still doing blogs on WrestlingHeads.com?
Yes, he's on vacation right now. He's on vacation, but you can still check it out.
Chris, a.k.a. at ROH Code. He's doing some more blogs. He's got some good stuff going on. Wish he could be here because I know he'd want to talk about all the stuff going on.
Yeah, he's meantime in Florida checking out dudes. So yeah.
Oh, take a shot. Let me take a shot at the boy.
Chris has been on vacation for like a month straight. Like, is he just like traveling the United States, like just doing nothing but checking out dudes?
He's still sending us pictures from Florida.
He's actually in Florida right now.
Well, goddamn it, Chris, stop taking a vacation. Come on, you can't be happy.
Hey, you know what this is, right? Summertime.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bruce. Put yourself out there, dude.
All right, so I guess follow me on Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. All of it is going to be at Bruce Kraft Jr. Take your pick.
Yep. And to Wednesday, we'll be here with Kyle O'Reilly once again. You got Skits, you got Tom, you got Oscar, Bruce. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to everybody else that's involved with WrestlingHeads.com.
Shout out to Kiana.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to her. She's definitely doing her shit, putting up results and or whatnot.
Shout out to Excalibur and Super Dragon for putting together the best fucking wrestling card.
Hey, how about shout out to Ring of Honor for a fucking beautiful pay-per-view?
How about shout out to
Ring of Honor for putting out a great pay-per-view.
Shout out to
right? And you know, we talked about WWE and TNA a lot, but independent wrestling is thriving.
Shout out to New Japan.
I don't know if you can consider Ring of Honor even independent anymore because they're on pay-per-view, they're on TV, they're just kicking ass.
Yep. Shout out to Matt Hardy for killing himself.
Shout out to Maria Kanellis, who is just fine as hell.
Hey, just shout out to all fucking everybody that's involved in wrestling. Shout out to all the wrestling fans. Shout out to all the fans that fucked up at Ring of Honor throwing in streams. Just shout out to everybody.
Shout out to all the listeners listening to us tonight.
Shout out to that dude with the Undertaker's reaction from WrestleMania.
Shout out to all of our fans and listeners listening to us tonight.
Yes,
definitely. Shout out to WrestlingHeads. Shout out to all of the Mexican. Hashtag.
Shout out to Captain Comic-Con. We forgot Captain Comic-Con. Shout out to Captain Comic-Con.
Shout out. Hashtag WHRADIO. Hashtag WrestlingHeads. And we out. Peace.
What's on WHRADIO? We are the best in the world at what we do.
Oh, so I got to shut up myself? Okay. Hey, yo, Oscar.
Fuck you, suck a dick.
Bye, y'all.